For today's watch review, let's talk about the Invicta Grand Diver model number 13706. Let's get right into it. Starting off with price, realistically you can find this online for about $110 to $130. Here's a quick 360. Still got the engravings on both sides. Exhibition case back, and then two-tone bracelet. And there's the clasp. For dimensions, including the crown to the 9 o'clock, we are looking at around 50, it's just under 52 millimeters. And then for case depth, right at 16 millimeters. And then lug to lug, which I'm starting to realize is probably the most important measurement that people care about. We're looking at 55 millimeters lug to lug. For weight, it is 220 grams. Of course, it's going to be a little bit heavier with all of the links. I did adjust it to my wrist. And then 7 3/4 ounces. Here it is on my 7.5 inch wrist. It does take up a lot of real estate, which is why they call it the Grand Diver. But for those of you that don't know, Invicta is pretty well known for just how large their watches are. As far as the internals go, we've got a Seiko NH38A movement. The main difference here is obviously you've got this open heart, but also there's no date complication, which I actually prefer, but you know, it's all subjective. And then also you've got this 120 click unidirectional bezel. I have had no issues with it. It operates just fine, and I can grab it just fine. And as far as I can tell, it lines up pretty dead nuts with all of the markers. Other specs are you've got the mineral crystal. You do have a screw down crown, so that attributes to the supposed 300 meters of water resistance. I say supposedly because, you know, I just trust what the company tells me, but I have no means of testing it myself because I have no intentions of diving down to 300 meters personally. With the screw down crown, because there's no other complication, you only pull it out one click. You notice the second hand stops. It's got a hacking movement and hand winding automatic movement as well. And the crown operates just fine. No issues there. I don't feel any grittiness. It's a very smooth operating crown. Here's a side-by-side with a more plain Jane looking Grand Diver. I like both of them equally. You know, the different color schemes are for different occasions, and I do appreciate that I can have multiple color schemes here or variations to wear on any given day. But engravings are the same. I will say the main difference here is the case thickness. The 13706 is slightly thinner, and if you saw my review on this one, my biggest complaint was just how beefy the thickness was. And so the fact that they slimmed it down, and I don't know if it's because this one doesn't have a date complication, although I wouldn't see why that would increase the thickness of the case, but either way, it's a move in the right direction because the original Grand Diver, it's almost ridiculous just how thick that is. And this one is much more moderate. You know, I think they could do a little bit better. To me, the perfect watch depth is 12 to 13 millimeters. And, you know, this one's sitting at around 16. They can do a little bit better, but still, it's a move in the right direction. As far as the bracelet goes, you've got this two-tone bracelet, polished center links with the brushed side links here, or outer links, whatever you want to call it. And then a steel clasp here, fold over milled steel clasp. decent quality, no complaints there. It works just fine, comfortable enough with 4 micro adjusts so you can get a very good fit on your wrist. I will say the finishing for the polished center links is, the gold finishing is going to last, at least in my experience with gold finish on Invicta watches, but there's going to be a high scratch factor if you're not careful. So, if you bang it against something, it's probably going to leave a mark, but I'm not going to wear this as a tool watch. I'm not going to use this as, my rough and tough watch anyways, so I don't run that much risk of it. I'm just letting you know. There is lume on the indices and the hour and minute hand, as well as the pip, and you can see it there on the screen. Not the best lume, but also not the worst. At this price range, it functions exactly how I would expect lume to function at this price range. For my personal thoughts, I did receive this as a Christmas gift from my wife. She knows how much I love the Grand Diver, so she went ahead and got me another one, and I absolutely love it. Like I said before, I really appreciate the fact that I can have multiple watches in different color schemes, so I can pick and choose depending on, what the event is, or, you name it. I can have multiple of the same thing, just depending on my mood. And I love two-tone watches. Obviously this is not like a top quality luxury watch. This is just something for fun, something not to be taken too seriously. And the fact that you can do that without breaking the bank at a very affordable price is something that I appreciate, and it does give me a lot of joy. For the aesthetics, I really do like what they did here with the dial. I don't even know what you want to call that. It's not really like a carbon fiber. I don't know. If you know what that is, let me know. I'll try and do a close-up here so you can get a better view. But I think it just goes really well with that open heart. And again, with the two-tone and that blue background, it all just looks good to me, Again, a subjective opinion, but I really do like it. And I think that if this is something that's been catching your eye and you like gold and steel mixed together, you're hard-pressed to find a better deal than this one. So that's about all I got to say for the 13706 Grand Diver. Overall, a very positive review. I'm very pleased with this watch so far. And of course, if my thoughts change over time, I do like to put up updated reviews at the 6 month to a year time frame. And again, really the only thing that I would change about it is probably the case thickness, overall thickness. But that does come with the territory of Invictas. You are going to get a large, beefy, chunky watch when, you've got a brand like Invicta making it. But other than that, that's all I got to say. I hope that you enjoyed this review. I hope that it helps you with your next watch purchase. And make sure to tune in my next episode. And I'll catch you guys later. Bye.